Hello, everyone, and good day to you. I hope you're doing great, and it is nice to have you here for our next video in the series. This is Roger, of course, creator of Dungeon Crusade and the Avalon Adventure board game with Grubus Games Unlimited, and I greatly welcome you. It's so nice to be back with you. It's been about 6 or 7 days, I think, and I hope you had, for the people who celebrate 4th of July, I hope you had a great 4th of July celebration with your family and friends. We had a great one here. Took some time off from the game to spend with my family, so it was very nice. So I hope you guys are doing great. I want to get right into this. We got to talk about a few things. And of course, this is going to be how to play Dungeon Crusade. And I did script some stuff out, but I think you're really going to enjoy this kind of final video series and or final videos in this series. But we have a few more things I want to share with you. But I did script some things out because it's important information and I think you'll enjoy learning about it. And last week was absolutely crazy busy, and I was trying to get this filmed and something just kept coming up and with the game. That leads me to a few exciting announcements for you. I'm going to just touch on this briefly because I want to get into this, how to play. I've been wanting to play this game with you. But real quickly, I'm going to be making an update video to get you guys in the loop. This has been in the works for a while, but finally last week it was kind of made official that Grubus Games Unlimited has partnered with Panda card sleeves, and we are creating custom-sized sleeves for all your Dungeon Crusade cards. So this is kind of the project has just started, but I know there are so many people out there who love to sleeve your game. So the great staff at Panda Card Sleeves, we've partnered together and we're in the process of getting everything going. So you will be able to pick these up on their website, and they'll be officially licensed Dungeon Crusade cards exclusively for the game. So I'm very excited to do this, and we're just very happy to offer that to everyone looking forward to sleeve your Dungeon Crusade game. More on that later, but I just wanted to let you know we got that on the horizon for you guys. Also, and I know this is a how to play video, this has been in the works too. There's a brand new game variant for the monster phase, which you're going to be seeing, and it's with the minions in the game, and it helps if you want to speed up your game and that. So more on that later. I'm going to do a demo video, but in this video in particular, we're going to do the official way. But this is what I mentioned this because, our quick reference guide, this is going to be an official variant, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this. If you want kind of this unknown element when your heroes attack minions, something more quicker paced, I think you're really going to enjoy that. So demo video coming for that, and the page that you can add into your quick reference guide. It'll be under game variants, and I think you're going to enjoy that. So next up here, we are going to start learning how to play Dungeon Crusade, and I think you're going to have a really good time with this. There is a couple of pre-game things I want to chat with you about before we begin, and some things you may not know about the game. First, this is going to be more of an instructional video and a little bit of a playthrough. We'll be doing quick edits within this series of videos to get you all the important information you need for playing the game and understanding its fundamentals. And like I have said before, now that we are doing this certain video, you'll find that Dungeon Crusade is quite easy to understand, and there's nothing complex about it. It's just girthy. Also, as we've been doing, we will be referring to the quick reference guide while we play. So if you're playing along at home, you can follow along with your quick reference guide. And please note, the game comes with these handy player aid cards that have a lot of great information on them you can refer to while playing. And these, of course, are double-sided. So between the quick reference guide and those player aid cards, we've got you covered for learning how to play the game and to refer to while playing. Also, before we begin, I'm going to recommend that you remove these dual monster chamber cards from the champion monster decks. So remember, these are the ones right here: champion, level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. So you'll find 2 of these cards in each deck. So I'll just show you what they look like and just place them on there. So level 1, level 2, and you can notice kind of the skulls get more evil looking as it goes up. Level 3, and finally level 4. These add a significant challenge to the game, and quickly what happens is your heroes won't be fighting one monster. If you pull this card, there's actually 2 monsters within the chamber. So for your first few games, till you get acclimated to this, I would recommend removing those cards from the decks. Or hey, if you think you're a pro crusader, go ahead and leave those in. Also, I want to make note of this for you in case you didn't know this. We're going to be playing with normal difficulty monsters. So I wanted to let you know, I also created expert and heroic difficulty monster decks. There are a few different game variants where you can mix all the decks together, or there is a game variant where the monsters level up as the heroes slay a certain monster. Also, you can see right here, notice that the race name is in white. That signifies normal difficulty. Green is expert difficulty, and finally blue here is heroic difficulty. And I don't know if you can see it, but I put some skulls up here in the top corner. So 1 skull, normal difficulty; 2 skulls, expert difficulty; and finally 3 skulls is heroic difficulty. Okay, y'all, let's get started. Let's first go over what comprises a turn in Dungeon Crusade. We're going to take a look at one of the player aid cards, and hopefully all this comes into focus for you. So looking at the player aid card, the very first thing in a turn is the upkeep phase. The next is the encounter phase, followed by the guardian phase. After the guardian phase, you're going to move into the hero phase, and finally the monster phase. At the end of the monster phase, it goes back to the new start of a turn. It's that simple. I think what we are going to do for this video is we'll go over the shopping phase. And remember, we're going to go over there to the village board with the heroes, and we're going to purchase some gear and some items from the bazaar before we descend into the dungeon. So this video will of course have that. And then I think what we're going to do is do upkeep, and then the encounter phase, and the guardian phase. And then that will complete this video. The following video, we'll just dedicate that to the hero phase, and then finally one video dedicated to the monster phase. So I don't want to throw too much information at you at once. But again, this is not a complex game. Even with this first video, you're going to learn a great amount about how Dungeon Crusade works. Okay, so let's go over to the village, meet up with the heroes, and let's buy some gear. Okay, and here we are with the heroes at the village. So let's go over a few of these buildings here and talk about some of the services that they offer. This right here is the tavern. Heroes can sleep here to recover their essence. However, there is a 100 gold cost associated with that. Here is the academy, and you might remember this from before. This is where heroes can obtain new special abilities. However, heroes need life force to obtain special abilities. And remember, life force is like XP in Dungeon Crusade. How you get, or how your heroes get life force, is by slaying monsters. And here we are at the bazaar. When the heroes visit the bazaar, they can purchase healing potions, elixir potions, ochre juice potions, and torches. Let's briefly go over these. Healing potions restore 6 health to the hero after they consume it. If a hero consumes an elixir potion, that will cure them of all afflictions if they're stricken with one or multiple afflictions. When a hero consumes an ochre juice potion, that restores 6 essence to that hero. Remember, heroes need to spend essence to use special abilities. Finally, when a hero lights a torch, that gives them +2 to their base movement. And just so you know, and there's a lit torch, when I did the design for this, I also put on the reverse side what each one does to make it easy for you. Each item is 100 gold. And here we are at the temple. So there's a few different services the temple provides. The first one is a hero can receive a blessing for 200 gold. We're going to be doing this, but real quickly, when your hero purchases a blessing, you take the card and you do not reveal it. You place it in that hero's player area, and when they descend into the dungeon, they are allowed to reveal if they have a blessing or it was despair. So not to give you a spoiler, there's a lot of different angels in this blessing deck, but the chances you could get despair, which means it's bad, nothing's going to happen. Or if they're lucky, a beautiful angel will aid them on their quest. The next service is they can drink from the healing fountain for 100 gold, and that will restore full health to one hero. Finally, the temple will cure all afflictions on a hero for 100 gold. While we're here, and since we're learning how to play Dungeon Crusade, I want to talk about blessings for a moment before moving on. When a hero receives a blessing in the form of an angel, that angel is tied to that hero. No other hero can gain that benefit. A hero is never allowed to trade an angel to another hero. If the hero wants to try to obtain another blessing, maybe another type of angel, because there's multiple ones, that hero must discard this, and then on the first or second celebration day, they can try for another blessing. This right here is the House of Chance. And I believe I said in another video, when the heroes are in their shopping phase, they are never permitted to enter into the House of Chance and gamble. The House of Chance is only used on the first and second celebration day, and if you have the Master of the Realm edition, which has 4 House of Chance games, one is randomly decided by a roll of the D4. Only one House of Chance game is used on celebration days. You should never have more than one House of Chance game. This is the Resurrection Altar. If one of your heroes ever perishes, you're going to place them in this location. We're going to get to how to resurrect a hero later on in the series, but I just did want to point that out to you. And finally, we're over here at the blacksmith shop. He offers some different services right here. If your heroes want to buy a pickaxe, it's 200 gold. When I created the mining and crafting system, the pickaxe can become dull. There's a chance of it. So to resharpen your pickaxe, he'll charge you 100 gold. To craft a power gem, remember you get those from the precious stones for mining, he'll charge you 100 gold. You can also sell bulks of moonstone, zoltanite, and the precious stones and get some gold from the blacksmith. Real quickly, moonstone and zoltanite are like your main components of crafting power gems. Okay, so we're about to do the shopping phase here in the village before we descend into the dungeon with our heroes. But I think right now would be the best time to go over a hero card, the warfare types, and explain to you the different icons on the loot cards. Because we're going to have to do this at some point, and I think right now is probably the best time to do that. So I'm going to move the village board up here, and we are going to use Sir Brennus, our knight hero, as an example and go over these different icons on his hero card. Okay, let's just start with this first. Up here is his health bar. Down here, this is his essence bar. Remember, you use essence to use special abilities. Of course, he is a level 1 hero. These are the different attributes. We'll quickly go over these. That is strength. That is willpower. This is wisdom. This is agility. And remember, this is a hero's movement right here. So we can see Sir Brennus has a base movement of 2 plus the roll of a d6. So you're going to add, a result from a d6 to the 2 to get his total movement for one of the actions. And remember, each hero has 2 actions in Dungeon Crusade. This is his lock-picking skill. It's -1. Over here is the hide, how well he can conceal himself. And right here is evade. So those are the different attributes. These are quite important. These are the warfare types. Let's go over these real quick. This is chaos warfare. This is arcane warfare. This is spiritual warfare. This is ranged warfare, mythical, and finally, physical warfare. So let me explain to you that when I created this whole land of Avalon and these monsters and heroes, about these warfare types. So my goal with this game was to address true party building. If you've played other dungeon crawl games, sometimes it's just a melee attack or ranged. But in Dungeon Crusade, you kind of, I don't know if you get like a thinking man's dungeon crawl game. You just can't run out willy-nilly and just go kill any monster. Sometimes you really have to think about what hero is appropriate to attack a monster, and most definitely what heroes to rally together. Okay, so what I mean by that is rallying is when you can join up to 3 heroes to fight a monster, usually like a champion that resides in the chambers of the dungeon, and most definitely a guardian. So an example is Maheliak is your barbarian hero, and Zeke is your wizard hero. Maheliak, being a barbarian, excels at chaos warfare. So any kind of monster that gets in his way, he's going to be able to take care of. Zeke is very strong with arcane warfare. So he's going to be very good against any monster with arcane warfare. He's very proficient in that. So, but the trade-off is, of course, because Maheliak is a barbarian, he's not very good with arcane, and vice versa. With Zeke, he is very good with arcane, but he's not good with chaos. So when you put those two together, that's a really great party of heroes that can take down a good amount of monsters. So looking here at these warfare types that I just named, consider these like fighting styles, like street fighting and karate and judo or taekwondo, so on and so forth. So looking at Sir Brennus's card, we can see he is proficient. Remember the word proficient. Proficient with physical warfare and ranged warfare. Well, he's pretty good with that. He can add a +1. Over here, he's pretty good with spiritual warfare. However, he's terrible with chaos warfare. He's not proficient. And of course, proficient means, you're very adept at it. You're very skilled at it. And at mythical warfare, he's not too hot with that, with a -2. And with arcane, he's kind of like middle of the road. Remember those different colored dice, the black dice, the green, the orange? Those are tied to these warfare types. So hopefully I explained that well enough. And when we get into some combat, it's all going to click for you. So with our shopping phase here, and this is what I love about this game or any other kind of game like this, especially the Diablo series. I'm a Diablo freak. I still play the very first one. If you've played that game, you can equip all this type of gear to build or spec out your hero. And I'm big on MMORPGs. Same with those? Well, that's kind of carried over here into Dungeon Crusade. That, okay, well, we can see that Sir Brennis here excels at physical warfare, and he's pretty good with ranged and spiritual. So maybe you, for our game here, we're going to really try to build Sir Brennis to be very strong with physical warfare and how about spiritual? We could go that route. Or, you know what, maybe we could go, really strong with physical and ranged warfare. Or maybe let's not even do that. Why don't we build on what he lacks in, what he's not proficient in? So we're going to try to maybe build him up with chaos warfare and mythical and kind of make him a jack of all trades, if you will. He's going to be strong against those different types of monsters. He can take on almost anything. But do you see what I'm saying with this now? That is what I really love about this game, is that you have so many different options how to spec out your heroes. And just remember the other ones over there, you have a whole team of heroes that you can do this with. Hopefully I made a lot of sense and a lot of this click for you, and you can. This game is kind of opening up to you. However, I'll tell you what, for this game, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the village here, and we're going to talk about a piece of loot, and I'm going to dissect one of those cards for you. I think what we're going to spec out Sir Brennis to be, we're going to make him really, really strong in physical warfare and ranged warfare. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the blacksmith shop, over to the common deck, and we're going to look for some gear in his shop that we can use with Sir Brennis. Okay, so let's head over there to the blacksmith shop.